Hey everybody, it's Marshall Muck here. This is my Star Wars Rebels Season 2. I almost forgot about that. Season 2, Episode 5 review and rundown. I am so out of it. But anyway, yeah, this episode was actually a Hera... Oh, I can't even spoil it real quick. I'm not gonna spoil it. It was basically a Hera general episode. But anyway, spoiler alert. There's my spoiler warning now. Spoiler alert if you have not seen the episode, just because I'm going to be getting into full detail of Hera's episode, I guess you could say, this episode. So let's get started. So this episode was pretty much a Hera origin. That's what I was going to say earlier. A Hera origin. It's kind of like how Hera became a pilot, why she became a pilot. So let's talk about it. So basically, the Clone Wars was pretty much everything. Like, that's the reason why she became a pilot. But anyway, I'm not going to get too much into it right now. I'm going to get into why she was talking about her origin. So basically, they are on this mission to get this cargo to, I guess, the people down below in the planet that they were going to. I don't remember the name of the planet, but they were there. They're trying to get this cargo there. There's a blockade. The blockade that they had took me back all the way to Star Wars The Clone Wars, to like all the blockades that they had in their episodes. Also, another thing that took me back in this episode is when Hera basically led this, or I guess kind of led this, you know, I don't even know, what do you call it? It's not an attack, but it's like she led this, event. She led trying to get through the blockade, and pretty much a lot of, like, two ships, I think, the one guy died, and the cargo ship blew up, and it kind of took me back to the episode of Clone Wars where Ahsoka leads her own squadron, and that's what I was going to say, squadron, and Ahsoka gets her squadron killed, or I guess a few people killed, I don't know, but that took me back to that episode, so it was kind of like a parallel thing here where it felt really similar, but basically in this episode, they need to get to the blockade, and Rex knows of a guy who makes ships, and he's on this planet, and he made a huge ship that apparently can do whatever it wants. So Hera, Zeb, and Sabine go to this planet, and they find him, and their ship almost, like, the Phantom almost, like, died. Like, the Phantom almost fell off this cliff and blew up, but it didn't, so that's a good thing. And they get this ship, and it's called the Blade Runner. Now, I don't know if this was already a ship, and they just included it in the show, or if the Blade Runner was not a ship. If, like, the Blade Runner is a new ship. I'm not sure I don't know if it is an old ship or not, if it's ever been in the movies or the books, or I don't even know, whatever it's from, but I think it's a new ship. I'm not really sure, but I think it's a new ship. Comment down below if I'm not right or if I am right, but I think it's new. I've never seen it before, so yeah. But it was really exciting to see this, and so Hera kind of tells us her origin story of why she became a pilot in the first place. You know, she was watching the Clone Wars, and funny thing here, she said she was a little girl when she was watching the Clone Wars, so that kind of puts you where the timeline is on Ahsoka's age, because Ahsoka was, when the Clone Wars started, I guess Ahsoka was like 15, maybe, I don't know how old she was, 15, 16, I don't know the age, I don't know, Ahsoka was kind of like that age, maybe 16, not really, I don't know for sure how that works, but anyway, she was that age, and so Hera being that young, you can kind of see how old Ahsoka is at this point in time, where Hera is maybe like in her 20s, I don't know, however we want to tell, I don't know. Well, I don't know what her age is, but she looks pretty young for her age, so it's kind of like you can kind of find out what Ahsoka's age is a little bit. But anyway, she talks about hiding underground on Ryloth, which I'm cool that we got that name drop, on Ryloth underground, and she would actually look up sometimes and watch the Republic ships go by, and say that she wanted to be up there with them, and so she leaves her family and learns how to fly, which is really cool. And so that kind of gave you her Hera origin, the origin of her, how she flew, how she learned how to fly, and why she did it, and, it's really cool to hear that. So I'm really glad that we got to hear her kind of origin. I think Sabine also did something like that, like talking about Mandalore and following the Empire blindly or something, I don't know, whatever she said. Next week is going to be a big Hera episode from someone from her past, so we're probably going to hear more about Mandalore and stuff like that with her next week, maybe. I hope, like, they're pulling a Girl Meets World here in this episode, whereas this season, everybody in Girl Meets World has had their own episode, so it means, like, this season on Star Wars Rebels, Hera got her own episode, so it's kind of like they're pulling a Girl Meets World here. Next week is probably going to be a big Sabine episode, so it's going to get really exciting. But anyway, they get the Blade Runner, they go back with the Phantom attached with it for the hyperdrive, and they go there, and they take out the blockade, and they save the day. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, that's pretty much all I gotta say. This episode overall was really good. I like the whole, it was like a low-key episode, but basically it was kind of telling us about Hera's origin, which I really like. I really like these episodes, like these kind of episodes that tell you the origin of these characters, which is really cool, because we really don't know much about these characters, so it's fun to get to know what they're like. You know, we know that Zeb was in the Honor Guard, we know that, you know, Ezra was a street kid, we know that Sabine was Mandalorian, and she was working, I think she was working with the Empire, I'm not really sure. So we now know a Hera origin as well. And we know Kanan's backstory with the Jedi. So it's a really fun thing that we get to see that as well. So yeah, updates. I was thinking about posting a Villain Thursday today, but I'm actually going to hold off. I might do one next week, I'm not really sure. Tomorrow is a bunch of Disney stuff, so I'll be probably live tweeting for it. I didn't live tweet last week, so I'll probably do that this week. I'm not really sure. So you can go see my Star Wars Rebels videos up there. You guys can follow my Twitter, my Instagram, my Vine, and my vlog channel all down below. And yeah, so other than that, like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.